Don't listen to this episode alone. Keep your loved ones close and find out what nightmare awaits us on this spooky episode of The Hapless Heroes.
Even my jammy jams are kind of nice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special, very canonical episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and I will be your nightmare aficionado for the evening. And I'm going to introduce our lovely cast of characters for this special night. To my left, we have Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Demigods don't get spooked.
We have Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Welcome to my nightmare. I think you're gonna like it. Ow!
I like that song. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song.
Dave as Arion Black.
Good evening.
And John is Lord Jarrell the Light.
That was quite the spooky dream. Of course, I'm not scared. It's just weird. I think I've had that twice now.
Speaking of spooky dreams, you guys had an awful nightmare last night. The end of which was a just horrible-looking figure rushing towards you with this just gaping mouth of blackness, and then your vision went dark. And you awake in a cold sweat, but you don't wake up in your own bed. And I'd like, before anything else happens, for everyone at this table to roll initiative.
So no more oyster bed?
No, you do not wake up in your happy little oyster bed.
James, I hope you're listening. 15. I rolled a 16.
Great.
Mike rolled a 15.
Arion Black gets
Classic.
preference there.
Yep, of course he does. So again, I rolled higher than both of them, going third.
So before we know where anybody else is, or what anybody else is doing, or what horrorscape they are waking into, we're going to start with Quinn. Quinn, you wake up. And I'm going to take back what I said earlier. You wake up in your oyster bed.
Oh.
But it's I don't know, it must be late. It's eerily quiet.
Okay.
You are alone in your room.
I'm alone?
Yes.
Okay.
The candles are all out.
Okay.
Like it's dark in here, and it feels like it's the middle of the night. You've just had this awful nightmare again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Well, I certainly don't enjoy the feeling of the cold sweat. So I would probably... do I have access to, like, a private bathroom, or...
Sure.
Okay.
You have a commode.
Yeah, so is there, like, a tub?
Sure.
Of some sort? Okay. So I run myself a bath.
The water doesn't run. There's plumbing. The water does not run.
Well, this is just my luck. He opens his door.
Okay. Like
to his
to
room,
the room.
to
Okay.
the room.
Yeah. It's a quiet hallway. All the
There are no guards or
no
servants.
It's
or anything.
dead quiet. All the lights are out. Like, all the lights are out in here as well. Like, no torches are lit, no braziers are lit. Everything is extinguished.
Okay, so
It's-
it definitely seems odd to him.
Yeah, there's. I mean, like I said, this is like a. I remember telling you guys are in private cabanas. So like, I mean, there's like you're kind of walking out into like the main like house now. Nobody in here. All the furniture is undisturbed. There's like everything is put together pristine. Like, you know, it's it's as you left it, unless you like made yourself a late night snack last night. Like everything is as you left it. But like you feel unsettled.
Yeah. So, is there any sort of like liquor or anything that I can?
Yeah, there's
my
there's
hands
there's I'm sure there's a whole rack.
Sure. I pour myself something dark.
Yeah, it comes out, but it's thick.
Thick. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's odd. It's
dark.
So like
It's
honey, like almost like.
I would say like more, yeah, kind of like a molasses kind of consistency as it
Yeah.
pours out into this like glass that you're putting it in.
So I obviously am not entertained by that. I don't want that now. So I kind of just like I play with the glass a little bit, and I kind of like the viscousness.
Viscosity.
Thank you. Viscousness.
We tell the English teacher.
English teachers just know how to make up words. Viscosity.
It's okay when you do it now.
It's also a science term. I just throw it out there. Anyway, so I just kind of like play with the viscosity a little bit and kind of like swirl it around to kind of like coat the glass, but I'm kind of like put off by it. So I put it down. Quinn meanders. So I'm in the cabana.
Yes, you're in the cabana.
Okay, and this is my private cabana.
Yes, shades are drawn.
So there wouldn't be anybody there.
There would be nobody here
Like normally there wouldn't be anybody here.
unless you invited somebody over.
Right.
Right.
So I walk out of the cabana.
The door's locked.
The door's locked.
And you can't seem to find even a knob.
There's no knob on the door.
No, the door's there. There's no knob on it.
The door. So there's a door.
It's
Like, I'm
knobless.
clearly choosing the spot to
Yeah,
exit.
but when you would go to reach for a knob, there's nothing there. Like there should be something there,
Okay.
and there's nothing there.
Uh-huh.
But as you kind of like look down, like where your hand should go, like there's like a small little like end table next to the door,
Okay.
and there's an unfolded scroll on there with a little paperweight on it.
Oh, perhaps I've missed something. So I open the. I pick up the paperweight.
And you have dark vision, so obviously you can
Yeah.
read what's on here.
Right. And I unfurl the scroll.
Yes, it's like it looks like a tabloid article. Like I mean, slandering, slandering
Stop.
the Southwind name.
Stop.
Every mistake that you have ever made
Which is a lot.
No. Not that many.
is being sort of highlighted, advertised as this expose
Dilbert Trump.
that someone is. Yes, yes, actually,
Wait, is his name on it?
yes.
He had the balls to put his name on it?
That bastard.
There is like it's not like this advertisement that Quinn is reading is not written by Dilbert Trump. It's advertising an expose about the Master Lord Captain Quinn Southwind, about all of the the man behind the hero, and it's this expose on all of tell all story of all the horrible things he's done, and some of them are flashed like on the page. All of your worst regrets, everything that you wish you could have done differently, every time that you were wrong,
Which is also a lot.
is
Can you not?
yikes, John.
There's some spitefulness going on over there.
A little bit.
Moral support.
All listed on here, and you just feel like your heart
Yeah.
sink.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna go to Arion Black. So Arion, you are definitely more mortal than you've ever been in a long time. I mean, we're talking probably hundreds of years since you felt this mortal. Your connection to your deity and patron severed. Your means of accessing their plane of existence, the Raven Queen's plane of existence, to get back to, the Shadowfell, unable to travel. So you shacked up with the heroes, try to maybe get in on whatever they're doing to achieve your ends of probably getting back there someday. But when you awake, you don't awake in the airship or wherever you were making yourself comfortable before. You wake up in a stone sarcophagus. Your body feels weak. The air in here is very stale, and you can feel you can barely move, but you're starting to feel like, and like you haven't felt like fear or like these kinds of emotions in a long time. You've had everything put together. You've had everything, sort of work out in your favor. You've made it this long, having lived this long, previously immortal yourself, by making some choice deals. And you are feeling very vulnerable right now and trapped. What do you do?
Stone sarcophagus.
Mm-hmm. You can feel it as you kind of like, really strain to reach your hands and like just kind of assess. It's very cramped in here, and whatever you are encased in is clearly made of stone. It's very smooth stone. You feel with every passing moment your body just continuing to wither and decay and age.
Let's see. First thing I would attempt is to reach my packed weapon.
You wouldn't be able to fit it in here unless you were to make it something smaller.
Dagger.
Okay, then yes.
Keep it. That has to. That's so natural.
I mean, the precision that you would have had to accidentally smack that mic stand, that microphone mount with,
Right.
to make that sound. Yeah, that has to stay.
Phenomenal.
That's the sound. That's the sound it makes when it pops into existence. This is obviously a dream, people.
Folks, when you hear that, appreciate the quality and,
Yeah.
and the precision, the professionalism.
Incredible. Can't make this shit up. Go ahead.
And start using the dagger to test the edges of the sarcophagus. Like
You can probably actually make me a dexterity check with Arion Black.
Right.
This fella's got his own character sheet,
Yeah.
and we've looked it over. It's not OP,
Yeah. Slightly, but not really.
but not really
Well, he's technically human right now, or ish, humanish.
human-ish.
Yeah. So that comes up as a standard dexterity, not a saving throw. Just
Check.
A check. 15.
15. You managed to kind of get it into a groove. It's tight. You're not able to push it in further than maybe an inch.
Okay.
The dagger.
start.
You're not able to push the dagger into the stone.
That's what I call it too.
Okay.
That resistant to piercing is a bitch.
The color commentary here is
Helpful.
rich,
I think the term is helpful.
Helpful.
as each person must overcome their own challenges. You jabronis.
Oh, so would maybe outside the sarcophagus count as a place that I can visualize?
I'm going to say no. I don't think that the gap that you've created is large enough to visualize it.
Oh, I can state a distance and direction.
Okay. What are you going to... Are you dimensioning door?
Dimension
door?
door.
Okay. So, yeah, you just, like, sort of... essentially, like, try to call forth a...
Yeah. Just before I do that, I knock on the front of the sarcophagus.
Like, as you're casting it, or are you just
Just
knocking?
before I cast. Just a quick knock.
It barely makes a sound.
Just to be safe, we're going to go 10 feet forward.
Okay. I'd like for you to make a Constitution saving throw. Please, Arion Black. Mr. Black.
14.
14. Okay. The spell cast successfully, and you are teleported 10 feet straight forward and are
Yes.
now laying on top of a stone coffin.
All right.
The air here is still not much better, as you are now in a mausoleum. There are almost like just shelves, right, of like where bodies are buried. Every single one of the shelves is occupied with a previous human body that you yourself have occupied. Roy Vermillion from the past. what was his name? Something Green.
Randall Cyan.
Yeah, Randall Cyan. Like all of the individuals you've inhabited are lying here, perfectly preserved, with their arms folded across their chests. We're gonna cut to Jarrell.
Alrighty.
Jarrell, when you open your eyes, you're bowed down, knelt in front of an altar to Valen in a large cathedral hall.
Okay.
All the pews have been stripped from the room. It is just hardwood floor, a plinth, and the altar. And you are lying on one of the steps of the plinth. Or you are kneeling. Kneeling on one of the steps of the plinth. You find yourself just sort of in the middle of a prayer. You're kind of having a hard time figuring out if you dozed off during this prayer and like that nightmare happened, or like what that was. You're definitely feeling a little out of sorts.
Right.
And the altar is looks like it's dilapidated. It's been rotting here
Okay.
for seemingly ages. And you're kind of starting to get your wits about you. You finish whatever prayer you were, and now you're just alone in this large, empty cathedral with this altar in front of you.
Okay. So I'm looking around the cathedral. What does it look like? Is it like it's dilapidated? You said.
Yes, hardwood floors, sort of collapsing stone columns, and it appears no doors anywhere.
Jarrell will detect evil and good.
So do you stand up before, to do that? Like, how do you perform that ritual?
I guess he would still be kneeling,
You'd still be kneeling?
looking
Okay.
around.
Okay,
That's
All
one
right.
of the first things he would do.
sure. Is it casting it as a ritual?
No, I can't.
Okay, so it's just that you're casting the spell.
Yeah.
What's the skinny on detect evil and good? Let me
It's
just
30 feet. Celestials, elementals, fae, fiend, undead, desecrated, and consecrated. I'm more trying to find out if this area has been desecrated.
You're having a hard time actually telling what is desecrated, but something is desecrated. Normally you can say where it's located if it's a creature. This object, what was that? So this object here, this altar, is definitely desecrated, and there is a fiend within 30 feet of you,
Do I know where?
directly in front of you.
Okay. So then, knowing that, I will use. Because Divine Sense should give me more details about that, right?
It tells you if it's a fiend, celestial, undead, fae, whatever,
Same thing.
within 30 feet,
yeah.
and
it's the same
if an
thing.
object is consecrated or desecrated.
Yes, it's the same thing. All right, there's a fiend in front of me.
You think so? You can tell. It says that's what it's saying.
Jarrell will walk to the area where it's. So I'll get up. I'll start to get up.
The moment you stand up, rising from behind the altar, you see yourself.
I'm so handsome.
But you're evil.
Wearing the helmet of Valen, the horns are sort of like the not horns, but like the wings,
Yeah.
like wing flourish that kind of comes off the top of the armor, appears to be curved downward, in sort of like a U shape.
Okay.
So it looks more like horns than it does like wings.
Okay.
The eyes beneath the helmet are glowing red. And before you have a chance to act, because I rolled initiative for this thing separately,
Super.
it will pounce upon you.
Okay.
And you see this thing literally just leap over in Jarrell fashion, this altar, with this, like you can kind of see the figure much more clearly now. Armor is entirely black, spikes coming out of it. Like it looks like your armor, but literally just like the upside down world version of it, right? To give you a point of reference. Just like, I mean, it just looks like it's disgusting. It just looks completely desecrated and like almost like unliving.
Okay.
And he has this sword that looks very similar to the sword of justice, but you can see all that's protruding from it is this just like horrid purple energy. And it swings down upon you.
Okay.
Does a 27 hit your AC?
Yes, it does.
It's going to make that a profane smite. So you're going to take 10 slashing damage
Okay.
and 23 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Dang.
And it's going to swing at you again.
Of course it does, because it's Jarl.
It will miss.
Cool.
You have a chance to act before we go on to the next person.
So, what did you do to my helmet? And I will swing back.
Go for it. That's the first question he asks. How dare you touch my stuff?
I totally accept that you're the evil opposite of me, but I'm more concerned about what you're wearing.
All right, first attack is
Khakis.
a 25.
Mm-hmm.
Second attack is a 23.
Okay. Could you hit yourself with those attacks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then you hit this with it.
Giving it a full Jarl, everything I've got on both.
I don't doubt that one bit.
So I can only do one blinding smite, but then I can do divine smite on both at third level.
Yes. However, as a reaction, it will attempt to essentially absorb the radiant energy
Okay.
by making a save against it.
Okay.
So make your attacks and roll your damage. You see it kind of puts its hand out, and as you're trying to come down with this holy power, it's almost as if it's trying to suck it out of the sword itself.
Okay.
And it nat ones.
Thank you for resolving that first, because I have to roll so many things
More
right
like,
now.
nah, Rel.
We're gonna go into a brief dice rolling hold, audience.
That's 28 slashing damage,
Uh-huh.
and what would that be? 80 radiant damage?
Okay. So 108 damage,
Yeah, total.
all told. Okay.
Wow, don't fuck with Jarrell.
Or at least not his stuff.
In your dreams.
unless you're Jarrell.
Right.
Okay. Well done. It's still there.
Okay.
And we're going to move on to Hedrick. Now, Hedrick. Hedrick.
My sweet Hedrick.
Talk to me.
You wake up in your old bed in the Cloud Giant's fortress.
Do I see my significant under?
It would be hard to miss her.
Okay. Ygritte. Is she awake?
No.
or- Okay. Can I rouse her? I'm gonna try to
Sure.
Ygritte, wake up.
No response. Out cold.
I see the man-child
No.
in the room. No.
You've lived an interesting
I don't even know
life.
that thing's name. Like, I remember I climbed on it at one point to give Ygritte a hug. Okay.
You
So
kn-
this
you
is-
you know the man-child's room is next door.
And I'm very familiar with this entire premises for the most part. I spent
Uh-huh.
a lot of time here.
Yeah, but the door to the main hall is not there. Just the door to the child's room.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can't rouse her, so naturally I'm gonna pop up and see if I can talk to somebody. I'll open the door.
Oh yeah, sure. So it's gigantic door. It towers above you, but you're able to.
Am I strong enough to push this?
Yes.
Thing? Okay.
You figured out your method already. Like you're familiar with these doors. You're not Hoblet.
Maybe since these are like home quarters, I've got a little stack of boxes or small crates that I step
No.
up on to reach.
Yeah, maybe. But something else that you do have is a point of exhaustion from the rousing night you've had.
I do.
You're operating on a lack of sleep right now.
That is disadvantage on all checks and saving throws?
Yes, sir.
I figure that's more or less how he was in the City of the Cloud Giants anyways.
Yeah,
Okay.
constantly.
And when you open the door, it opens into a gigantic child's playroom. Way larger in scale than anything that you remember.
Even by giant scale, this is giant for giant scale.
Yeah.
Like you are an
Gar-
ant.
Like there's like a
Gargantuan.
letter block that's probably 3 stories tall.
You are an ant. You're smaller than an ant.
I mean,
I,
admit it.
I am immediately getting like flashbacks of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Immediately.
And when the door closes behind you, because it does, because you weren't paying attention, and all of a sudden you just holy crap, I'm in this room now because it's a dream.
I'm staring up, looking at like all of these giant structures that are small objects, and as I'm looking over my shoulder, door closes on me.
Yep.
And, I'm checking to see what I have on me.
You have appropriate clothes.
That's it.
You were sleeping. What are appropriate clothes?
You're in
for
your
sleeping?
jammy jams.
Even my jammy jams are kind of nice. I mean, things weren't that great with Egrid at the end, so I pretty much, once I put this on, that meant you ain't getting nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Because I ain't taking it back off.
You
It's
were the
difficult.
sex holder.
He tried to be. It didn't seem very consensual.
And then you're just sleeping with my sister?
You
Jesus,
expect
man.
something over double your size to satisfy you without hurting you?
Some people can do it.
I
Hedrick
mean-
was just not ready for that kind of life.
Let's just say
Starfishing.
Didn't have the heart
There
to.
was mutual benefits to the relationship. You know,
Yeah.
it allowed me
Call
to
back.
stay in this place for a while.
Uh huh. So yeah, let's not forget about your setting now.
That's about it, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any materials, just common.
Your
clothes.
jammy jams.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm, and your wits.
All right. Are
And,
there any reflective surfaces around?
Before you have a chance to necessarily see where a reflective surface is, you kind of hear this like really deep thuds. And you look to your right, and there is like gigantic man-child, probably towering 30 feet tall.
Oh my lord, he's a colossus. What has happened?
And it just starts slowly reaching down and like playing with toys. Like it picks up like some action figures and it starts like clashing them together and just like smashing these things like to pieces. And it's like looking around the room for more toys.
What is closest to me?
A gigantic letter block.
I will dash to the letter block, try to get on the opposite side and hide. His grip is going to be far too strong and his intelligence far too low to understand that I am actually not trying to be played with.
What letter is on the letter block?
I'm just going to roll a little something real quick. Okay. It reaches for a toy nearby. Looks like some big rattler.
Okay.
That's probably the size of this letter block, and just starts like rattling it around. Like you can see there's like boulders inside this thing, like there's stones inside this thing that are just like shaking around. And it's distracted for now, but begins searching in your direction.
Okay.
Things close by to you.
Okay.
There is there's like a large desk that's very tall, that has like.
I mean, that thing's going to be, what, 20 stories, 30, 50 stories? Like,
I mean, this thing is. The baby's 300 feet tall, so it's to scale to the baby.
babies can just about reach
Uh-huh.
the top of
Every
the
shelf,
desk.
every shelf is accessible to this child, is what I'm gonna say.
So it's like 350 my scale.
Uh-huh.
Maybe 400.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's high.
Oh yeah. way too high. I'm in my Jimmy Jams.
Yeah, there's other toys.
I'm way too.
There's other toys spilled on the floor. You'll see a book scattered about here and there, and other letter blocks. There's like, if you come up with a toy, I'll tell you if it's there or not. Like, but this is like, it's coming for the letter block.
Is the little duck with the wheels that you pull by the rope?
Yes.
I'm also thinking the colorful xylophone.
It's a goose though.
Yeah. Perfect.
What's that?
The
Yeah.
colorful xylophone.
Yes, there's one of those as well.
I'm going to cast a spell.
Yeah. What are you gonna cast?
Since I don't have my instruments with me, I am going to start singing a song.
Uh huh.
So as not to attract the attention of
Yeah.
the giant baby.
This spell is called Unearthly Chorus. Music of a style you choose fills the air around you in a 30-foot radius, so I'm waiting until he gets very close. I don't know if that means the arm is close or the head is close, but
It would be the
One
hand.
of the fingers.
Yeah.
Music spreads around the corners and can be heard up to 100 feet away.
Okay.
The music moves with you, centered on you for the duration. Until the spell ends, you make charisma or performance checks with advantage.
Okay.
So that would even out.
Yes. You're just
my
rolling
exhaustion.
normally now.
Yes, okay.
On charisma checks specifically.
In addition, you can use a bonus action on each of your turns to beguile one creature you choose within 30 feet that you can see and it hears the music.
Okay.
The creature must make a charisma saving throw. It goes on to say if
It
you
fails.
If your companions are attacking it, the creature automatically succeeds on the throw. On a failure, the creature becomes friendly to you for as long as it can hear the music for up to 1 hour thereafter.
Perfect.
I think it was friendly before.
It is friendly to you.
Okay. It goes on to say you make charisma deception checks and charisma persuasion checks against the creature made friendly with advantage.
Perfect. That's great.
Does that cancel to straight throws or altogether with advantage? Because it says even if it fails or saves, I make performance checks with advantage.
So you're just
That would be leveled
it's
out.
just leveled out.
It doesn't stack. Okay, very
Does
good.
not stack.
Very good.
So
I shall begin to sing this song.
before you do, like it then pushes the block aside carefully and says,
And I pop out
What does
from
it really sound like?
small. So I am making these noises now.
uh-huh.
We're hot, a formerly Hokov. We're hot, a formerly Hokov. Highly acclaimed, proficient, badassery. Proudly proclaimed professional mastery. Fresh on the scene for when there's catastrophe. Deadliest team, hot, stopping the dastardly hot. A formerly Hokov. We're hot. Formerly Hokov. We're hot. Formerly Hokov. You ain't seen nothing, so hold your applause. And he will continue singing this song, staring down a massive 300-foot
We're hot.
giant baby.
He's doing like an
baby
MC Hammer dance.
He's trying his best to pop and lock, but I gotta tell you, this is unfamiliar territory for him. So for an audience of one, he feels shook for the first time in a long time. He's used to big crowds. He's used to
This is a
lots
big
of
crowd.
Huge. Colossal.
people. It's only one set of ears, and
But it's a humongous set of ears.
300 1-foot babies or one 300-foot baby?
well, and he's certainly never done a concert in his jammies before, so there's always that sort of like stuck on stage fright kind of feeling.
Right. Classic.
Yeah.
Great. We're going to get to what happens with it next time. So we're going to go right back to Quinn. Quinn, you have just read some very concerning things
About myself.
about yourself.
Yeah.
This is Like it seems inevitable. It seems like the whole world is going to have a different picture painted of the Lord Captain Quinn Southwind than you had intended.
Probably a more honest one.
Yikes.
This is my story. You're not in it.
I love this.
And you're holding on to some sludgy beverage
Yeah.
at a knobless door.
Well, I'm not holding on to the knobless door because there's no knob.
No, you're
Yeah.
holding on to the beverage at the knobless door.
Gotcha.
What do you do now?
Like, I can't get out. I am going to... What's the door made out of?
Wood.
Wood. Okay. I am going to... potentially try to break the door.
Cool.
I don't know how yet. Okay, so I'm going to try to pry the door open
Sounds good.
with my dagger.
You reach for your dagger and it's not there.
Motherfucker!
I'm just waiting for that.
Yep. I knew he was going to go for it. I knew he was going to fucking go for it. Oh, hook, line, and sinker.
Daddy's little poker.
Whoa.
Coming in hot.
No, listen. Daddy impregnates people with wind.
And a poker.
So I am shook. The dagger being so I immediately run back to the bedroom.
Do you drop the glass with the syrup? in it?
Yeah, fuck that shit. I am looking furiously for the dagger. Like maybe it's fallen out. Maybe I put it. Like,
Sure.
Normally I would put it by my bedside.
The case where you would normally keep it in is empty.
Yeah. So the sheath is.
Yeah, but make me an investigation check of the bedroom.
Ten.
You see the dagger. You find it underneath the bed itself. It's shining there. It's almost like just out of your reach, and you're kind of like trying to like you're trying to like grab it.
So it's under the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like on my hands and knees trying
Yes,
to like.
you're
grab
trying to reach for it, right?
Okay.
But like as you're trying to reach for it, it almost like it looks like it's going further out of reach, and your vision just kind of tunnels into it for a second. And like just like a change of scenery in a dream, you're now sat in a chair at a table with legal representation next to you in a courthouse.
Who's my legal representation?
It looks like just a public defender.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Like, is he
to-
wearing a crappy suit?
Yeah.
Like.
To like just barely passable appropriate clothes.
Okay.
To your left is what appears to be the prosecution,
His tie is still like up on his shoulder from lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a
and
mustard on his shirt.
it appears to be sat Dilbertram with 3 lawyers.
Okay.
And the trial begins,
This is a trial.
and the
I thought
judge
we were just chatting.
starts slamming a gavel into the podium. I need you to make me a perception check, please.
Okay. 20.
The gavel is the dagger.
Okay.
And the prosecution starts.
Uh-huh.
Your Honor, my client here is suing for damages, for disenfranchisement, and for, honestly, his time.
Time for what?
Men and women of the jury, Dilbertram here is a hardworking member of the everyday community of the people of the Derakeen Protectorate. government man, family man. And this person right here, this captain,
Lord.
this lowlife,
Low life.
drags him through the mud, puts him in unspeakable situations without a regard for his safety.
He told us not to
Your,
believe he's
your legal
there.
counsel is trying to shush you, and like the judge is slamming the gavel harder.
Stop slamming my dagger.
I will have order in this court, or I will have you thrown back into the cell without a trial, and you will rot for the rest of your days, Mr. Southwind.
Well, it's not very democratic, is it?
I'm telling you right now, you shut your mouth, or we're sending you back to the stockades. Thank you. Prosecution, you may continue. And this guy started, they started listing off a rap sheet of all the dangerous situations you've put Dilbertram in and like not giving a fuck about his safety at all.
No.
And they started even listing out all the heroic actions that you've written about were just stunts and acts of a madman with no regards for public safety, and you are a menace to society.
The last part's probably true.
Have they confused me with Hoblet?
I'm going to give you an opportunity to do one thing, and then we're going to move forward.
Demand that you take the stand.
Call your first witness, man.
Well, but I'm not counsel. I would like to talk or whisper or whatever I need to do to be stealthy about this with my.
I'm sorry,
counsel.
it's illegal to whisper to your counsel. Like you can, like that's
Well,
what
I
they're
don't
supposed to be
want- I
there
don't want
for.
the judge yelling at me again.
Well, you're talking to your counsel now.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I lean over to my counsel and I say, I demand a chance to defend myself.
He stands up real quick. Your Honor, my client would like a chance to defend himself.
God, he's terrible.
Is he calling himself as a witness? Yes, I think so. Very well then.
Yes, I am.
All right, you are brought up to the stand. 2 armed guards escort you up there, and they are holding you
Are they attractive?
by both your arms. No, they're hideous.
Is he in chains?
Damn it.
Is he in chains like the arms and
yes.
leg shackles?
Yes.
All together like it's
Yes.
one big shackle.
Yes, they could just pick him up from his elbows and everything would go with him, right? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And
And they're
you're
not attractive? That's...
no, they're not. They're hideous.
Yeah.
You can't bang
Sure.
everybody.
I mean, it's a nightmare. I get it. Okay.
Challenge accepted.
So I'm on the stand.
And the judge is like looking at you and he's like, "You best explain yourself. You best. Like, what could you have to say?"
Is he literally like pointing my dagger at
Yes.
my face?
Yeah, I was about to say his arm is outstretched and he's pointing the dagger gavel at your face.
So this judge, Mr. Fair over here,
Nightmare judge. Yes.
is literally pointing a
Dagger in your
sharp
face.
Object.
Your dagger.
My sharp object.
At you.
My father's sharp object. That came out.
Please move on. Just please move on.
Came out
Let's just
terribly
keep
wrong.
going.
It's what came
Steamroll
out.
ahead.
Can you please not point that at me?
I will point it wherever I need to point it. Do you have anything to say for yourself? And he's still pointing the dagger at you. He doesn't ever take it away from your face.
I am Lord Captain Quinn Southwind. I am the hero of Vesh.
As you say, every time you say more accolades about yourself, you feel yourself shrinking into the chair.
I'm becoming smaller?
Yes. Everything else is becoming bigger around you. Like you're shrinking under your own words.
Am I with him?
No.
Oh.
Dagger still outstretched, pointing at your face, but you're just
So the
thinking,
dagger's obviously getting bigger.
yes, and you're getting smaller.
Yeah, sure. I am like the leader of Hots.
You
I don't
know,
understand. What's happening to me?
but you're just all you're doing is talking. You're not like okay.
You are a liar
Uh-huh.
and a hoodlum. And he points at Dilbertram.
You turn your attention to Dilbert. You can barely see him now.
Right, like I'm jumping up over the stand, like pointing
Sure.
at him.
You're almost hitting the dagger with your face. Because he just keeps getting ever closer to you as you shrink.
Sure. Okay. I like bop my head this way, like to the right, so that I
not
don't,
impale
I don't
yourself.
stab myself in the
Uh-huh.
face.
Nothing happens. Like at this point, it's almost like everyone's just shouting at you now. Everyone, like the whole place is in an uproar. It's like you're just being overwhelmed by like the sound of boos.
Is there a jury?
And
Is the
yes,
jury booing?
everyone's
Is there-
booing.
Is there any place that I can, like?
No,
Now
at this
that I'm
point,
tiny,
at this
can I
point, it's
hide
now just
somewhere?
you and the dagger.
Stuck.
It's just so
You're
now
just
there's
you're
no
just
one else
you're just
there.
you're just like continuing to shrink into the chair. And all you can it gets to a point where all you can see is the point of the dagger.
You gonna cry yet?
I step away from the.
You
dagger.
can't step at this. You are literally just. It's
can't
just
move.
now the dagger. It's like everything is just
It's just in my
enclosing
face.
around you. The
Sure.
sound and like the chair and the dagger and like it's all just like closing in on you and closing in on you and closing in on you.
I cast sleep on myself.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
And this, dear audience, is why Fran and I don't even bother to take notes.
Wouldn't it not affect him because he is sleeping?
Yes, it would not affect you.
I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque.
You feel yourself still sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
You're aware that you're sleeping.
So am I? Yeah. Am I?
Yeah. You've become more lucid.
Uh huh.
You know you're dreaming, but you feel stuck in here.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna say just because I like how you got there, you just like kind of reach out to kind of cast a spell, and your hand touches the dagger,
Yeah.
and you wake up.
Like really wake up.
Yes.
Maybe wake up.
In a cold sweat, panting.
No, we did this before.
Yeah, in your oyster shell bed,
Where's my dagger?
where you left it.
Okay. I'm spinning a top now.
Arion Black, surrounded by the preserved bodies of your former selves.
He goes and admires some of them.
Yeah. At one point, like as you're starting to admire them, right? You see that very suddenly all of them sit upright, turn their heads at you simultaneously, like just like a crack, you know? And like you just hear these whispers. Like unintelligible whispers. And the room begins to fill with like a black mist.
This is how we're doing things today.
Yeah.
Black mist it, and he's audibly saying, "Black mist it is."
Very matter of fact still. This is like one of the creepiest fucking things. And he's still like nonplussed. He's out of the sarcophagus now. Your body still feels weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as if like just your time in here is like you are withering away with every second you spend in this burial site. Oh, how it aches to be mortal and dying. It's almost as if like the last like several hundred years are all catching up to you very rapidly.
Okay, so we're how about a quick description of the sarcophagus area? What kind of area am I in here?
Stone floors, a little bit large towards the back where the sarcophagus and the shelves of bodies are.
Okay.
And at the front there is just a flat wall.
Just a flat
Like
wall.
a slight,
where-
like a slighted, like a jutment, right? Like so that it's like the room is not symmetrical,
Yeah.
right? And it's a little smaller towards like what would have been maybe an entryway to the sarcophagus, but
Yeah.
or this mausoleum. But again, also just like solid wall.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is, well, let's see. This black mist, is it rising from the floor or?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're gonna start by casting fly and making sure that I stay above that.
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, the ceilings aren't very tall in here. It's maybe like 15-foot ceilings.
No, but let's buy myself a couple of seconds and sort
Yeah.
of hover over to maybe one of the me's on a higher shelf and see if I can get a little closer and make out some of the whispering here.
Nope. It is absolutely unintelligible. It's just like it's almost as if like it's just like something is just channeling through it, and it's just this like this speech that is ancient and just unintelligible to you.
I shoved that particular version of me, and just shove it over. There was no talking to you anyway.
It doesn't even budge. It's like rigor mortis fully set in. You do not have you can barely push it over. Like it is just stiff as a board.
Light as a feather.
I reach into my jacket for my alligator leather wrapped flask of bourbon.
You grab it.
Good.
You see that on the bottle, the O in bourbon, the second O, has the symbol over it to make it a bourbon-like sound. Like it's actually like I forgot. I forget it's the swiggle. I think which way is the O pronounced? Right. It has that symbol over it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like entirely specifically spelled out as bourbon.
No.
Well, now, Aaron, now, if we didn't already, we know the jig is up.
Right.
I pour out the contents.
Onto the floor.
Yes.
Yes. It dissipates some of the mist in the general area that you poured it out.
Oh, good. I write it, and I go over by where I try to float over toward where the door would be, and I pour some of it on the door.
Yes, the bourbon pours on the entryway, and like a portal sort of starts to form in the stone.
Excellent. And we make our egress through the portal.
Sure. When you awake, though, you awake butt naked in a field outside of Artwall.
Lick my finger, put it up in the air, test the wind, and start walking back towards the
Excellent. Jarrell, you're in full combat with a shadow of yourself.
Yes.
It's going to take a couple mighty swings at you.
Sure.
I'm going to say a 29 will do it,
Yep.
but a 19 will not,
No.
and a 23 will.
Clackety clackety, roll for attackety.
Jarrell, you take 23 slashing damage
Okay.
and 22 necrotic damage.
Wow. Okay.
Bang.
And this thing just is like you are snarling at you.
Yeah.
It's like you feel it almost like trying to drain the light from you.
Right. Jarrell is absolutely hurting, and he will take, panting, like he's visibly wounded. If anybody else could see this, and he will just let out like a giant scream, like he knows if he doesn't take this thing out, he will die. And 2 attacks. That's 28. Will a 19 hit? No, because it won't hit me.
Does a 19 hit you?
Right. No.
Okay.
All right.
Dave, I think I found the formula. You just got to make Jarrell fight himself.
Right.
We're giving it all of the bells and whistles, I'm assuming. So we're just gonna put that out there for the audience as we gather up again a tremendous amount of dice.
Right. All right, so that's 14 slashing damage and 25 radiant damage.
So as your sword cleaves through the shadow of yourself, you see it kind of just slice straight through from shoulder to opposite hip.
Okay.
And the thing kind of splits, and like this, dark, wispy energy starts like floating from it, and you just
Can
see
I make
like
a request?
yes.
Can I cut his head off and it rolls towards me?
I was hoping you'd never ask, and I mean it, and by that I mean like I absolutely want that to happen.
Yeah.
So yes, you do that as well.
And I take the helmet off.
Yeah, it's your face.
Right. I saw it the entire time, so it's not exactly the Darth Vader reveal, but
Right.
You gotta have that mask blow off the thing to reveal your face.
Right. But it's also doing the same thing that, well, obviously you didn't see it as Jarrell, but that I described before with the former bodies of Arion Black. Its mouth is moving, and it's just whispering this like, just like horrible
creepy.
creepiness, and then you wake up.
Okay.
Hedrick, we are back to you, trapped in a giant child's playroom. At least you would have a much more friendly child, but this is a friendly, gigantic child. What is your next course of action now that you have its attention and it really likes you and called you Daddy?
I don't believe it needs to see me more that I need to see it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go invisible, greater invisibility, and continue singing the song.
The moment you go invisible, the child immediately starts tantruming. Friend! No! Friend! No! Friend went away! Daddy went away! And it just starts smashing the ground now. I mean, it's like full on tantruming. 300-foot baby tantrum.
Okay.
It's rolling around, and now I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. 6 plus 7 is the 13.
You take a gigantic blow to the face as this thing, like one of its fingers, kind of comes down and like swings across and like hits you.
Yeah.
You're gonna take half your hit points in damage.
Okay. Yeah, when that happens, I am going to drop that invisibility and crawl up his arm, continuing to sing this song. Trying to
it's-
persuade him to calm down.
Okay, it's starting to calm down from the tantrum now that it can see you again.
Is it a Taylor Swift song?
Can it
No,
see
it's
him?
it's the same kind of beat that I've been doing with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
unearthly chorus.
Yeah, that's good. As you kind of start climbing its arm, right, the tantrum begins to subside and it stands up. You can see that across the room, like on top of the shelf of toys and like that little desk like shelf thing I was telling you about. There appears to be at the very top of the shelf on the wall like a little mouse hole, like perfectly carved, like just a tiny little doorway, just a tiny little Hedrick-sized doorway.
So yeah, I'm leaning at that and I'm trying to climb towards him while I'm singing at him.
Yeah. He starts cooing and is like happy, and you're friends. It is friendly again to you,
Okay.
and is smiling and like kind of just gently rocking its shoulders, right? Because it's like just entranced with your beautiful music.
Okay. Stacked with tactical, magical bros, radical, adaptable, natural throws, national capital ambassadors know we'll handle these scandalous amateur foes. We're hot. And I'm pointing over to that
As you say
mouse
that,
hole.
the baby just starts nodding its head like it's at one of the greatest hip hop concerts it's ever been to in its life. And you actually climb on top of the back of its head, and like with one of the nods, it like flings you forward. And I would like for you to make me an acrobatics check,
Oh,
please.
absolutely. That would be my pleasure. Okay. Yeah, 29.
Gracefully sailing through the air, you fly right over, direct into the direct path of this little doorway, land on top of a nice fluffy bed of toys made like stuffed with just like this, like the softest stuffing you can imagine.
Is there a little like dust cloud of like glitter and smoke as I make
Yes.
this 3-point landing?
Yes, and like you see Big Baby just like very slowly but deliberately like clapping like, "Ah!"
I feel like the damn Indian in the cupboard, man.
But like
I was just-
but with every clap, like the room begins to shake, like it's like an earthquake. Like it's like, hey, it's time to move now, Hedrick. Like this thing is just rattling.
I do my greatest bow and blow a kiss to the giant man baby as I bid him adieu and dash through that mouse hole.
Yeah, you land. You dive through it, like kind of head first, and you land on your bed. You wake up with your stomach and face down onto the bed.
Is there anyone next to me?
No.
Ah.
She played you, bitch.
It is
Where is my loot?
in the room.
I see my loot. Mm-hmm. Immediately, I'm gonna get on the loot and try just like rhythmically repeating what I was just doing, and trying to keep that memory fresh in my mind.
You hear at that moment, you kind of hear some water running in your in like this cabana like restroom area.
Okay.
And then Tessa exits
Ooh.
the room like, "Oh, you're up." And that's what we're going to call this week's episode. Happy Halloween, everybody. It was my pleasure to bring you this little nightmare segment. If you like us, you can find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter and Instagram at Hapless Heroes. We're on Facebook and Reddit. It's just Hapless Heroes Podcast. A lot of those places will have a pin post that points you to our Discord server, which is the hottest place on the internet to be if you are someone who happens to be into Dungeons & Dragons and listens to this show and just likes to talk about stuff with other cool people.
True.
So, you can find links on there. Join in the conversation, but you can reach us anywhere else. If you're feeling a little kind of shy, but you still want to say some kind words, like we have an email. It's haplessheroes@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing your words. We've received so many kind messages. It's just it's a pleasure to speak to all of you. If you really like us, though, you can leave us a 5-star review in the podcast service of your choice. Really helps us grow in the ranks, gets us more visibility. A lot of you have heard this spiel before, but I gotta keep saying it because it's just the best. And if you really, really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have so many fun rewards, behind the scenes audio, special Discord roles, bloopers, everything you can imagine, and more.
And more.
And more.
And yeah, more than that.
The bloopers are the best, though.
And if you really like Sally Field and the whole deal, what you need to do is get down on your knees right now.
Right now.
You need to raise your right hand. You need to solemnly swear to uphold the tenets and beliefs of the Hapless Heroes, whatever those may be.
Yikes.
And what you're going to do now is every time you're out and you have to engage with a public service or a food service, any sort of person where you might tip, every time you leave a tip, you're going to write some kind words on the receipt. Not only will you tip a minimum of 20% gratuitous rate, make sure you have a smile on your face when you hand it to your server or bartender, but you're also going to write a little note. Please listen to the Hapless Heroes for future delights.
Can you roll for persuasion on that?
Yeah, I'm going to roll for all you listeners out there. You got to believe this. Oh, I fucking rolled a 2. Well, I thought it was a good idea, you guys. I used my special dice, got a 2.
Amazing. It's the first time we've had a dice roll in If You Really Love Us, so that's great.
That is.
I hope Zach, you're listening to this and you're proud.
Why not?
Also, totally doable.
Yeah.
And a very kind act to put out there in the world.
Agreed.
Very, very, not a far cry from some of the If You Really Love Us that we've,
I
suggested.
like to have reachable goals.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's refreshing. So there's nothing left for me to do now except for outro our cast, and I'm going to start on my right with John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
Doppelganger sent you back to Queen Doppelpopolis.
Okay.
Dave as Mr. Black.
Another eventful Tuesday.
The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday. As terrible as that movie was, Raul Julia, greatest character actor that ever lived. Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Oh, hey there, beautiful. Come here. I got something to show you. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to twerk.
She's not there.
She just came out of the bathroom.
Yeah,
bro.
you were ignoring
She
him.
was
I was
walking at me,
ignoring it, yeah.
looking all fine.
I was so proud that she wasn't there anymore. I was like, yes, go her.
Now I'm going to show her how I rap.
Get out
Oh
of
boy.
And
And
completely turn her off.
wow. Yeah, and that's going to be the end of that relationship. And Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Sweet, sweet dagger.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and GM. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Pretty spooky 5 minutes. Phil, are you okay?